Hey everyone, it's Ken, and welcome to part 5 of my 5-part video series on how I made $1,000 in 48 hours with just a small email list of 100 subscribers. Now, if you have not watched videos 1 through 4, stop this video right now, go back, watch them all, because what you're going to learn is how I did this step by step. I'm going to show you everything, okay? So I want you to go back, watch videos 1 through 4. Now, if you landed here on video 5 and you watched all the other videos, this video is going to be a recap of everything that I did. I'm going to talk about what went right, and most importantly, I'm going to talk about what I can improve on, because there's always areas of improvement. And then towards the end of the video, I'm going to reveal to you the reason why I almost did not promote this particular webinar, and you're going to find that it is basically ridiculous. Okay, so I want to just share that with you, and I'm a little bit embarrassed about it too. But let's go ahead and let's do a quick recap of what we've learned so far. Okay, so first of all, in video number 1, I go over a high-level overview of this entire promotion. Okay, then in video number 2, I show you the emails here. I show you all 4 emails that I've written, and I show you how I wrote them. Then in video number 3, we go over the automation. Okay, this is where I showed you how I set up my automation so that it would resend emails to people who did not open up my previous email. And then in video number 4, we went over the hype page, and I talk about the importance of the hype page and what it really meant to me in terms of this whole promotion and how it helped to increase my conversions. And again, in video 5, we're going to do a recap of the entire promotion. So let's dive right in. Now, before we dive into the meat of this video, I want to personally thank you for watching my videos. I really appreciate your support. I hope that you found value in these videos, in this case study. It's my first ever case study, so it means a lot to me that you are tuning in and watching. And I hope that I am able to teach you something, because I am learning at the same time. Just like you are learning from these videos, I am learning this at the very same time that you are learning as well. So I really appreciate that. So let's hop over into ActiveCampaign. So this automation to me worked very well, and I'm so glad that my coach Philip Barrowman suggested that I create a resend automation for those people who do not open, who are unable to open my original email. And the reason why is because people are busy, right? People are busy, they're inundated with emails and text messages, they're constantly distracted and multitasking. So the chances are very high that they're not going to open up your email the very first time. So having this in place, where a condition where I would see if they opened it up, and if they didn't open it up, I would wait and send them another email, worked very well. Okay. Now, the other thing that worked very well was having the ability to send the email at the very specific time in that context time zone. Now, we live in a global society, right? Everyone lives all over the world. And what I think is convenient for me in terms of time, in this case 10 a.m., may not be convenient for someone who lives halfway around the world. So by being able to configure the send time to be specific to the context time zone, really, to me, helped out in terms of having that email drop into their email inbox at a time when I personally think that people are going to be more open to seeing emails, or at least going into their email inbox. So that worked to me very, very well. Now, what else worked very well? Well, let's take a look here. This is the hype page, okay? And if you recall, the hype page was this page right here, where I sent people to this hype page, and the whole goal of the page was to really get them excited about registering for the webinar, being able to, in 90 seconds, explain the benefits and why they should do it, because how are they going to benefit from registering for this webinar? So this hype page, and by the way, I'm giving this hype page away for free. It's a template on Thrive. So if you are a Thrive user, you can go ahead. There's a link down in the description below. Go ahead and download that. It's free. You can go ahead and edit this as any way that you want, but just make sure you use it, because to me it really worked. Now this hype page, very simple. Again, you can just see right here. I mean, not very much to it, but the video itself was very crucial in convincing people to register for the webinar. So this hype page to me worked very well and helped with overall conversions. Now, speaking of which, emailing in general, right? If you don't email, you never know. If you don't email and let your subscribers know that you are promoting something or that you have something important to say, if you don't do that, they will never know, right? And that's the most important thing. What worked was I emailed people, okay? And again, at the end of this video, towards the end, I'm going to reveal to you my embarrassing aha moment, and you're going to see how ridiculous that thinking was, okay? And we're going to go into that. But again, just emailing people, right? I had a list of 100, so just emailing in itself helped out, and that worked. So speaking of which, let's take a look at the statistics. We need to dive into the statistics, and we're gonna go through what worked, and then we're gonna go into what I need to improve on right after this. So what worked? Okay, you can see here, this is the way this is laid out. Is the ones that are in bold are the original emails, okay? And the ones that you see with the A, like 1A, 2A, 3A, those are the resends. That means that if they didn't open it, according to ActiveCampaign, if they did not open that email after a set period of time, I sent them another email, okay? The body of the email was exactly the same. I just changed the headline or the subject line, okay? Now, we're gonna go through this and we're gonna just look at what worked, okay? First of all, this 19.59% open rate, that's pretty good. That's pretty good, and I'm gonna explain why it's pretty good. In fact, I think it's really good. I would obviously love for it to be higher. 20% or more would probably be a really good gauge, but I think 19.59% is a great start. And the click-through rate was not bad. Obviously, I would like that to be higher as well, but considering that this is the first time that I really am diving into the statistics or the data, I think that's pretty good. Now, also too, you can see that in email number 2, the open rate was pretty high. The click-through rate went down a little bit, and as you can see, subsequently, as I go down the line here in emails, you can see that the numbers go down, and I'll explain why. But let's take a look at here. Email number 4. Email number 4 was the email of the day of the webinar. Okay, so that's the reason why it is so high here. And of course, you see right here, the replay email was very high. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about why you see this right here. You see this decline in numbers. Okay, now this decline in numbers is due to the fact that I'm promoting something, okay, and I'm emailing them every day. And normally, this first email right here, this is a good indication of who is kind of more of a fan, right? Someone who is really interested. So when I email them, they're gonna open it up, okay? So right now, this is a really good open rate for the very first email. And you can see that the second email was very high too. This email right here caught people who didn't open up the first email, okay? And the click-through rate is low. They probably are not as interested, but these guys right up here, you can see they're very interested. So they opened it up, they clicked to see what that registration page looked like, and they either registered or they said, I'll probably think about it and come back to it later, okay? Now, in email number 2, this is still a pretty high open rate, and which is pretty good. The click-through rate is obviously could be better or way better. But again, as the emails start flowing through. After they see the first one, they see the second one. Now people are catching on, like, okay, he's promoting something. Email number 2 and email number 3 were emails that took people or pushed people over to the hype page, okay? I wanted to send them to the hype page because I felt that this was a very critical time for me personally to go and explain, okay? It's one thing to send somebody directly to a registration page and there's a video of Philip, and of course he explains everything very, very well, but sometimes you need a little bit of hand-holding, right? Sometimes people need to see you and say, oh, it's Ken, and even though he's emailing, he's now taken time to explain to me the benefits of why I should actually be attending this this webinar, okay? So it's kind of serves like a bridge page, so to speak. Now, with that, you can see here that email number 3, which is the day before the webinar, the open rates are even lower, okay? So people already know I'm still driving them to the hype page and people are just opening up, they're seeing it. The click-through rate is a little bit higher, so but pretty much the same. And obviously the follow-up was a big fat 0, okay? So people are obviously not as interested, or they've already seen the promotion. They know exactly what these emails are about because I'm, again, consistently emailing them every single day up to the webinar. Now, here's where it gets really interesting, okay? Email number 4 happens on the day of the webinar, okay? And you can see the click-through rate, or the open rate, is very high. The click-through rate is also very high. In fact, it's even higher than my initial email. Now, what that means is that some people like to wait. Some people like to wait to the last minute. And to me, this is one of those things of, we call it fear of missing out, or FOMO. Let me just type that in here. So fear of missing out. Okay, so people usually wait. They open it up, they wait, okay, I'll get to it when I get to it. And then all of a sudden, it's happening today. So people probably saw it and were like, I better register. I better hurry up and register for this thing. So people open it up, they click through, registered for it. I can tell you for a fact that on the very day of this webinar, I got people who were posting in Philip's Inner Circle, Taking Action Online Inner Circle group, where's the link to the webinar? How do I register for this webinar? So while the webinar was on, I looked at the group and I went in there and I started telling people where to go to register, okay? So a lot of people wait to the last minute for whatever reason, and for fear of missing out, they obviously opened up the email and they clicked on the link to go and sign up. Now, this is really cool here too, because you look at this replay, okay? Now, not everybody could attend this webinar, all right? Just because of the time differences. And I had a lot of people reaching out saying, well, that's on a, on a very early morning, on a Tuesday morning for me, and I have to work. So I would tell them there's a replay that's going to be up for 48 hours. Look for my email in your inbox, and you'll have 48 hours to watch the replay and decide whether or not you want to join his 30-day coaching group. But otherwise, by just watching this, you are going to learn how to properly launch Shack. What's the right way to structure it, okay? So this is a result of people who were not able to attend the webinar, and this was the opportunity for them to watch it. So they had 48 hours in order to do that. And I did just one email and it got a really high open rate and an extremely high click-through rate. So now that you see, these are pretty good open rates, decent click-through rates. I want to talk about areas of improvement. So let's take a look at those. All right, so I want to show you, let's head back to the overall flow of this entire promotion. Now, areas of improvement for me include, I should be emailing more. I should literally be starting my email sequence or my email automation and adding in more emails and really building upon these 4 emails that were successful, and perhaps even changing up the hype page video, because 2 of these emails sent them to the same hype page. So they saw the exact same video over again. And I think what I really want to do now is create another hype page and kind of break it down. You know, hype page number 1 will be about a specific thing. Hype page number 2 will be about another specific thing, but both of them are related to the overall promotion, the overall webinar, and the benefits that they're going to get from it. I really need to think about that and how I really want to structure it. But I truly believe that that might help with overall conversions and getting more people over to the registration page. So again, more emails to promote it. I think that that's what I'm going to do on my next one, and we'll see how that one goes. And another thing that I really wanted to talk about was when we talk about emails, okay, my email list of 100, I never really email them a whole lot, okay? I don't think prior to me emailing this promotion out, I don't think I even sent out a general email. So like a standard email blast that people get. I think that that would help because again, you know, we're talking 20% of people here had opened up that email. So out of the 100 people, about 20 people opened up the first time. I believe that part of that reason why people didn't open it up so much was just because I wasn't emailing. So if I had built up a relationship, an even better relationship, an even closer relationship, something where I show more value to people on my list, because again, my channel is about helping people to get useful information to build their online business. And by providing more general email, value-driven email to my list, I believe that that would in turn lead to some momentum where people would be like, okay, well, he sent all these wonderful emails, and now he's going to send something to me that he feels is going to help me. So heck yeah, I'm going to open that up. When you have an email list, I think the lesson I learned here is that you really have to maintain contact with them. And I'm not talking everyday contact, but I'm talking, you know, once a week, twice a week, just maybe once every other week. But just something of value that builds that connection and shows your worth. Because again, this is a relationship. It's a two-way relationship. If I want people to open up my emails, I need to give them a reason why. And I think that's the lesson that I learned here, is that I'm going to be sending out more of general value emails to my email list. So that way we can build that relationship. Now, speaking of sending emails, you see here, right here, I only sent one follow-up email. And that was just to announce that here's the link, you have 48 hours, and that was it. I didn't bother sending out another email saying, hey, you know, so many spots have been taken, because this promotion, this coaching, 30-day coaching program is only open to 20 students. And you know, the numbers go down, right? As more people register, the numbers go down. And we talked about earlier, fear of missing out. Same thing applies here, is sometimes people don't act because they don't see the need to. And I think if they understand that there's a fear of missing out, that they're going to miss out on taking advantage of this opportunity, you know, I think that's important. I think that's something that I'm going to be doing too, is providing more emails. The frequency of the emails, especially for the replay, I need to be in more contact with people and let them know that there are so many hours left and so many spots left, that if you really want to join this, join it now. So those are the things that I would improve on. That's the areas of improvement. Now, I want to dive into my embarrassing moment. I want to talk to you about that one because I really think it's going to help you. I really, really do. So let's talk about that right now. So if you've been following along from video 1 through video 5, you've heard me mention this numerous times, that I have this embarrassing moment and that I was going to share it with you. And it was really embarrassing because it was just a silly thought in my mind. Very, very silly thought. And of course, if it wasn't for my coach, Philip Barrowman, who encouraged me to send out the emails, I wouldn't have made this $1,000. So if it wasn't for him, I would have made $1,000 in 48 hours on a list of 100 people. And my big hang up, which is a little hang up, but it is a big hang up, is that I felt that I had a very small list, and that since I had already emailed them prior, that they wouldn't be interested in hearing about this promotion again, that people wouldn't care and they would unsubscribe. And, you know, it was just one of those things where just a tiny, tiny little thought in your mind can spread like wildfire and prevent you from taking action. And the lesson, and I really gotta sometimes just sit back and remember the things that I say, because lots of times I tell people that your success is 10% skill set and 90% mindset. So the 10%, the skill set, we all have it. You have it. I have it. We all have it because we have been studying, we've been learning, we've been buying these products, we've been trying different things. So in some weird way, we all have skill set. Some of us more than others. But the point is that skill set can be learned. It can be learned. And it just takes time, right? It's like going to school and you just learn something. It takes time. Now, the 90%, the mindset, the reason why it's such a huge portion of success is that the mind can trick you, right? That little thought of, oh, no one's gonna want to attend, or people are gonna think I'm sending out the same thing over and over again. They're not gonna care. They're gonna hate me. They're gonna unsubscribe. That little voice in your head, it doesn't matter, right? It's when you listen to me telling you this, you're probably like, you're gonna let something like that stop you when you made $1,000. I didn't know it was gonna make $1,000, but in retrospect, that's the benefit of having perspective. Okay, that's the benefit of being able to look back and say, you know, if I had let that little voice win out on me, then I would have never sent out my emails and I would have never gotten this money. Okay. And of course, if I didn't have a coach like Philip Barrowman, who probably in his mind was like, Ken didn't send out any emails. I'm going to just remind him because maybe he's busy and he forgot. He didn't know that deep down inside, I was like, I'm not going to send it because why? It doesn't matter. My list is small. They've seen it before and they're not going to do it. Okay. Well, guess what? I was big time wrong, right? So that was my embarrassing moment. And again, you know, mindset is such a big part of success. If you think you can't do it, then you can't. If you think you can do it, then you will. Part of it is that you have to really accept it. You really have to let it sink into your mind and accept that you can do this. I did it. I did it with such a small email list. It's crazy. And I didn't build this list through something like solo ads. I didn't do Facebook ads. I didn't do any paid advertising. I did this the good old-fashioned way. I made videos that helped people. I did it and I helped people. People signed up. And because of that, when I offered up a promotion that I thought would help them, they signed up for the webinar and some people bought it. So again, let that be a lesson to you. It's number one, having a good coach, again, it really helps. But number two, it's your mind. And if you can overcome that, if you can push forward through the negative thoughts, through the doubt, then you will succeed. That's a part that stops everybody. And so I'm hoping that this video and this video series helps you to realize that you can do it, because if I did it, so can you. If I did it with a small list and I made $1,000, so can you. But you have to take action. You have to do it. You have to put aside whatever thoughts, embarrassing thoughts, doubt, fear, whatever it is. Push it on the side and just focus on your goal and just do it. So with that, I want to thank you again for watching my 5-part series. Now, if you want to learn the same techniques, the same strategy that I used, then click on the link below to sign up for a free workshop. Now, this workshop is the Advanced Traffic Blueprint. It happens every other month, roughly. So go ahead, sign up for it, and I'll see you guys there. And I look forward to seeing your success too. And I look forward to seeing a case study from you as well. So take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.